They say fresh cut grass, freshly brewed coffee, and bacon are some of the most recognizable smells known to man, since women don't have noses. But I argue the most recognizable smell is the smell of desperation, and that's exactly what's coming from a billion-dollar company.
The following is a World-Class Bullshitters exclusive.
They say if you wait long enough, everything that's old becomes new again. Well, in the case of Star Wars, that's what they're hoping for, but it's not really working out for Hasbro, the company who is tasked with selling merchandise based on Star Wars. Notice how I said tasked, as if it's a chore to sell these things. Well, it has been. Since 2015, Star Wars toys have hit a wall. What was expected to be the biggest return since Jesus, The Force Awakens, was projected to make more money than the GDP of Spain. Everyone seemed to be excited, and the rights holders seemed hell-bent on wringing out every dollar from the film before it was even released. That's good because we recently learned just how much money it cost to produce this film. $639 million? That's a new lap record. What was expected to be the saving grace of this massive money hole were the toys. Hasbro, the company tasked with producing new Star Wars action figures, they tried to match demand, but they overshot it by a mile. The initial buzz was pretty much non-existent on the Star Wars merchandise front. Of course, there were those who had to have it day one, and then there was everyone else who just didn't. Over the course of that year, it turned out that a lot of people didn't need to have those toys, and they sat fairly untouched for most of 2016. Then at the end of that year, Rogue One was released, and its toys also failed to sell high volumes. Then we get to The Last Jedi, the film that broke a franchise, and those toys also failed to sell. We, WCBS, entered this story in 2017 to document the beginning of the decline. But here we are in 2024, and there's a new chapter to this never-ending story of disappointment. But before we get into that, today's video is brought to you by me, Jeff Hicks, and my graphic novel, Stealing Solo. Stealing Solo asks the greatest what-if question of all time. What if a group of disgruntled Star Wars fans kidnap Harrison Ford and force him to remake Star Wars in their basement? That, and a whole lot more, is answered in Stealing Solo, a Captain's Parody. Stealing Solo has been called Laugh Out Loud Funny and the greatest Star Wars parody since Spaceballs, and it's available now for a limited time only. Go to stealingsolo.com, which is powered by Shopify, so you get the reward-winning safety and security, and get yourselves a copy today. Once we sell through this limited backstock, I'm going back to the drawing board to bring you the sequel, which parodies Luke Skywalker's fall from grace, and finally the closing chapter, which I can't wait to get to, Frankenfisher, the Bride of Solo. And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. So folks, the only way to get that is go to stealingsolo.com right now, get yourselves a copy, and enjoy the greatest Star Wars parody since Spaceballs. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Well, that's exactly what Hasbro is trying by reselling us old toys from years ago. Now let's be honest, repacks are nothing new. Most toys get a repack at some point since it costs a lot to tool those things. It only makes sense for a company to re-release a highly sought-after item. But what about an item that's not only not highly sought after, but actually reviled by all paying customers? Well, that's exactly where this story begins, and it's hilarious. In September of 2017, Hasbro released the figures from Star Wars The Last Jedi. The waves included everyone's favorite characters like Rey, Finn, Poe, Old Man Luke Skywalker, and of course, Rose Tico. Yeah, you guys sent me dozens of Rose Ticos, and thank you for that. I'll be showing some of those very soon. By January of 2018, these figures were being clearanced out for $1. The movie had only been out for 2 weeks at this point, but retailers were begging to get rid of the inventory because they didn't want Star Wars clogging up the shelves, and clog it did. Even at a massive markdown, these Star Wars figures failed to sell. For years, they sat here collecting dust, waiting for the Episode 9 toy line to replace it. Well, these toys did so poorly there wasn't an Episode 9 toy line, but you can check that out in our archives. But it was a first in the history of Star Wars. While these toys were stuck at retail, they began to show up at clearance outlets like Ollie's. For the first time, fans could shop across the street and save over 50% on these brand new Star Wars figures because nobody wanted them. Luckily for Star Wars, Ollie's is quite a comfortable location for a toy's final resting place. Over the next few years, the world shut down, there were elections, a gas shortage, and a flock of seagulls. That's about it. It's been rough, but there's been one constant that helps all collectors sleep at night. The unsold toys at Ollie's. Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news because these toys are back at retail for more than full price, and damn it, this is not going to work. I was up late scrolling through my phone, and I saw an ad for a brand new 5-pack of Star Wars figures. At first I thought nothing of it, but then I scrolled back and thought about it. Are they out of their damn minds? Who wants this? I thought to myself. Then I clicked the ad and somehow it got worse. My screen flashed with the word Star Wars, Celebrate the Saga, The Resistance, 3.75 pack of 5 figures. Wow, what a title. I miss the days of simplicity like Super Articulated Spider-Man, Combat Belt Batman, or Tickle Me Elmo, although looking back none of us knew that Elmo tickled back. Ugh. So the listing read, Celebrate the Legacy, I ain't celebrating, of Star Wars, the action and adventure-packed space saga from a galaxy far, far away with this 3.75-inch scale action figure set, featuring movie-inspired designs and multiple points of articulation, that's 5, as well as character-inspired accessories. The Resistance Figure 5-pack allows fans, collectors, and kids from ages 4 and up to imagine the world of Star Wars in action, recreate favorite moments of excitement and intrigue. I thought there was a law about false advertising, but we're going to stop right there. So after that whopper of a title that Riley Reid wouldn't turn down, I was in shock. They did it. They actually did it. They reached the desperation point. They're trying to resell the Last Jedi figures. Now, imagine my laughter when I realized that somewhere there is a warehouse with thousands of these figures that no one has bought, and it's been nearly a decade. It's gotten so bad that they've repackaged them and tried to sell them off as new, and it's not working. What a shock. Here we are over 7 years later, and they're still trying. It's like the bread machine from old school. Kids don't want a bread machine, and no one wants these figures. Now, after my little laugh session, I clicked on the link and saw they wanted $35.99 for these 5 figures and a porg. Imagine a warehouse employee lugging buckets full of these little porg figures. What a waste of plastic, they must think, and what a waste of my life. Indeed, what a waste. I went on to check the website to see if there were more Last Jedi figures available, and much to no one's surprise, there were. For $11.99, you can get a Force Link 4-pack, which comes with Rose Tico. That's 76% off for those keeping track. There were also single card figures of all sizes and even a helmet. All were on clearance and none were selling. So after my schadenfreude calmed down, I did a little more research and sadly, this situation gets even funnier for us. This new 5-pack was an attempt to get rid of the remaining figures 4 years ago. In 2020, there was this press release for a 5-pack. It was listed as an Amazon exclusive for $29.99. So if this was an Amazon exclusive, how the hell did it end up elsewhere? Easy. There wasn't enough demand and there were too many toys. Once again, a major company overestimated the value of the Star Wars brand and assumed that people would buy anything with this logo. They did not. Amazon sold these off to big bad toy stores, a sort of trickle-down bullshit economic situation, and here we are 4 years later. I'm being advertised these crappy figures like they're brand new. The circle is now complete, and I hate it. That's how poorly these things sold. It's not like I told you so, but that's a topic for another day. These were released in 2017. They didn't sell back then. They repackaged them. Those didn't sell. And the remainder that was sold to other stores are now being advertised as a brand new product at a higher price. I know inflation is a problem, but damn it, there is just no value in these things. Except to laugh. Here we are, 7 years removed after the initial release, and I can find these figures for $3.99 at Ollie's. Why would I ever pay more? To be completely honest, why would I ever take them for free? But that is a story for another day. Friends, today we laugh in unison at this reminder of Lucasfilm's failure to accurately gauge the value of these new characters. All of the name-calling and 4D chess has failed this brand, failed these other companies, and most importantly, failed us, the fans. They've produced so many that this Amazon exclusive became a big bad toy store listing destined for Ollie's. After the apocalypse, the plague, and the Great Reset, all that will remain are cockroaches, Twinkies, and Disney Star Wars toys. At least the cockroaches can eat the Twinkies. So folks, what do you think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. This is just too funny to me. Come on now, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look, it's going to be 2050, and Ollie's will still be there, and so will The Last Jedi and Reva and all these other crappy toys. But it's the holiday season, people are in the mood for giving, but you wouldn't give a kid a dangerous toy, so why would you give them a crappy one? They might choke, or they might hate it. But folks, thank you for watching. I'll be back next time with more. It is time, officially, to get the new toy series rolling. So, be on the lookout. I have been to multiple toy stores around the country. Some of the coolest toy displays, train displays, Lego displays, you name it, I've been there. And I'm bringing it to you starting this Saturday. So folks, hit the subscribe button, make sure your bell notification is turned on to all, and the minute you wake up, realize something. You are awesome, you are valuable, and you are world class, and you will not accept anything that is not world class. So treat yourself to some WCBS entertainment, and remember why we are the epitome of pop culture. I've been your host, Jeff. I'll be back next time with more. But until then, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.